Ooh. Ah. Ooh. No! Look, I am really sorry to start the video off like this. I was literally minding my own business here on the toilet and would you look at that? All out of toilet paper. You know, back in the day, we would used to use all sorts of garbage things to wipe our butts with. I guess, you know, corn on the cob without the corn, magazines, newspapers, leaves, really anything we could find. Smooth rocks. Don't really have any smooth rocks around here, but maybe I can find something of, well, hold that thought. This might do the trick. Sorry, give me a second.
That's much better. Now, where was I? Oh yes, the Hammerfall Bunker. If Vatican City were to have the Sistine Chapel and Greece was to have the Acropolis, then Games Workshop would have the Hammerfall Bunker. Michelangelo did once say that there is no higher form of art than this ceramite octagon. And he'd be right. The Hammerfall Bunker is virtually perfect from every angle. That is, until you try to put it on the tabletop.
Mind you, there is very good reason why you don't see these bunkers on the tabletop, and that is because they are what is called a fortification. And in 40K, fortifications are pretty bad. Fortifications are buildings. They are buildings that you field using your army points. And since they are buildings, they come with many different stipulations. They cannot move. They have 0 inches of movement. And on top of that, their defensive profile, while good, has no OC. So it doesn't control any points. It can't even do actions or really score anything. And so when you're building your list, there's really no reason to take them. Why would I take a Hammerfall Bunker when I could be taking another squad of intercessors or a ballistas dreadnought for basically the same price? And so that has to get you wondering, in the case that you were to use the Hammerfall Bunkers, how could you use them? With 2026, GW has given us a brand new plethora of detachments to play with. And one of these is the Space Marine Detachment Orbital Assault Force. Orbital Assault Force is okay at best. It has some fairly funny stratagems and its enhancements are pretty good but not insane. The best part about it is its detachment rule. You pick 3 units in your army and all of those units get deep strike. You can see where this is going. No longer was I going to be Legion W of 3 Lord of Skulls World Eaters Specialist. I was going to branch out. I was going to become Legion W of World Eaters and Space Marines, 3 Hammerfall Bunkers. This is how I brought 3 Hammerfall Bunkers to my local 40K tournament.
But first, a water break.
Water. Cool, delicious, and refreshing. But not quite as cool and delicious as this list that I have concocted. And that is what I'm going to be sharing with you right now. The advantage of the bunkers is that it's a roadblock. It's a T12 2-up save body, and that's the best thing about it. But it doesn't have shooting, it doesn't move, it doesn't control points, so you can't use it like a Norn Emissary or not even like a Lord of Skulls. You can't park it on a point. But it can block units. And with that mentality, we began to concoct a roadblock list. I say we in the scenario because this list owes a lot of its innovation to a man by the name of Hogan Franklin. He's a bit of a Tyranid aficionado and also an enjoyer of a good meme. And when I pitched to him this list, it became very apparent that the list needed some form of a win con. We were going back and forth on various things until Hogan finally suggested adding in 2 Land Raiders as well as multiple squads with redeploy abilities. What does this do? The Land Raiders help cement your win con. They act as additional T-12 2-up bodies that this time can move around and stay mobile and also have, unlike the bunker, a good shooting platform. The Land Raiders, when coupled with the bunkers, could block off certain sections of the map, and that is pretty damn funny. But to get the Land Raiders into position and to make sure that they're not blown off the point turn 1, we needed a way to safely deploy them. Enter the redeploy units. Wardens of Ultramar has an ability on it that allows you to choose up to 3 Space Marine units in your army and redeploy it. This is in general a good ability. You see this being used often in most standard Ultramarine lists nowadays. But it's a little bit more special in Orbital Assault Force. This is because Orbital Assault Force already has an enhancement that allows you to pick up to 3 Space Marine units and redeploy them. This stacks. So when you couple Orbital Uplink with Wardens of Ultramar, you suddenly now have 6 redeploys, meaning that you can effectively, when putting units in transports and putting other units in deep strike, redeploy your entire army.
Sometimes my genius it's almost frightening.
The list was finalized into the following. Captain Titus would be leading a squad of 6 Victrix. In addition to Titus, we would have the Wardens of Ultramar, which would be paired with a squad of Blade Guard. These will be our 2 melee hammers. They will be placed into Land Raiders, which would act as our transports as well as our shooting platforms. Besides that, we would have a majority of action units. And of course, how could I forget the pièce de résistance, the 3 Hammerfall Bunkers. And so, with the list settled and my carrying case packed, it was time to head to tourney. Before we go any further, there is a little bit of a confession I need to make. I've been trying to sound really confident about myself up until this point of the video, really upselling the idea that these Hammerfall Bunkers are going to be good and exciting. I myself, if I'm being serious for a second, am not super confident about the list. The bunkers, while looking good, are each 175 points, which means that over 500 points of my army is effectively going into OC0 units with no movement. So while everyone else is playing in 2,000 points matched play, I was playing in 1,500 points of matched play. And this is where I was very surprised that not only did our team get second place, but I managed to win 1 game. I seriously don't know how. Like, it's on a quick side note here, while the performance of the list was above expectations, I was even more surprised actually by the reception of the triple bunker list. People seemed to love it. Even before the tourney happened, everyone was talking about it in Discord, and when I showed up to the actual event, I was christened the title of Bunker Boy. Now, I'm going to be honest here. Bunker Boy does kind of sound like an anti-Space Marine slur that would be thrown around on the internet. It's a side effect of the list, I suppose. So now I'm back and I should feel more confident about this list, but let me pro-con this whole Hammerfall bunker thing to you. The list is good in many ways, yes. The roadblock strategy works. It actually works quite effectively, especially if you try and force certain matchups as you do at a teams tournament. Now, there are some practical issues with the bunkers to get out of the way first. For one, their size makes it difficult to deep strike in, and a lot of the times you will just end up popping the bunkers down right outside your deployment zone. So you don't feel like you're getting the mileage out of them that you should be getting. On top of that, the bunkers hinder you as much as they hinder the opponent sometimes. It's really hard to move land raiders around the bunkers, so once you drop the bunkers and seal your own deployment zone, your land raiders aren't getting back in. They're stuck there. I found myself from round 2 onwards opting to drop one of the bunkers in my deployment zone and give deep strike to one of my land raiders instead. It just ended up being more convenient for action agency. Then we get to the rulings part.
I'd write, but you can't read.
The Hammerfall bunker, from a rules perspective, is kind of a mess. There's no getting around it. Games Workshop does not update fortification rules often, and a lot of the rulings for the bunkers have to be sort of interpreted by judges and TOs, and it's all honestly a bit of a mess. We spent a good chunk of time the week before the tournament trying to figure out if I could overwatch with all 3 bunkers or not. With the rules written as they are, the bunkers can do a triple overwatch, kind of in the line of the Biologus Putrefier and its free grenades, if you remember that back in the days of the Death Guard Index. But the important thing to note about that is that the Biologus Putrefier was rotted. That thing needed to be fixed. But the bunker was not eroded, so was Games Workshop intending to fix the bunker's text and make it like the Biologus Putrefier, or is it okay to just use all 3 overwatches in a fixed location at the same turn? We had to go through this ruling a few times, and in the end we concluded that rules as written, you could overwatch with all 3. Now granted, it's not very good in my experience. I think I'll probably blast an Overwatch into that if that's show.
Into the truck?
Yeah, truck.
Okay.
Should be fast. Because it's a crack, no 6s, we're done.
Okay, cool.
But if you are planning to bring the bunkers to a tournament, do check with your TO beforehand and make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to the rulings. And be ready to explain a lot of stuff to your opponent as well. So the list is a bit unwieldy. It harms you more than it harms your opponent sometimes, and your opponent will probably be ending up confused by all the different rules about fortifications that they are suddenly onboarding. But I'm not disappointed in the list. The list is fun. People have fun playing against the list. The list is silly on the tabletop and looks ridiculous. And on top of that, you have fun rolling 3 overwatches every single turn. If I were to run this list again, I do think I would try and fit Gilliman in. The bunkers by themselves cannot kill, and something like Double Oath really, I think, helps boost the potency of the flamers as well as the missile launcher on top. But that is a story for another time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I think as a whole I'll be probably setting down this bunker list for a little bit until I see another opportunity to pull it out. But I think there's a lot of potential here. I think it's very silly, but it can probably be streamlined to something that's a little bit more consistent and playable, if I'm being honest. So even if I'm not playing this list, maybe you can be the one to do so next. Thanks for watching.